Here we go. Now you're going to get me. Woo! Alrighty. So we're not going to give you the traditional sales pitch on advertising, but we do have the Unity Ads booth at the hall where we have all the way through Wednesday. Our Unity Ads team will answer all your questions around advertising. So we're not talking about right now anything about fill rates or eCPMs and stuff like that, but even to those questions, you get all answers on your booth any day during the day. But to start with the reality that the mobile gaming today is predominantly free-to-play world, where users download the game for free, play for free, and if you're extremely successful, maybe 2 to 3% of your users will ever pay for your game. Or even you're mega successful, maybe 5% is the stretch. So 95% of your users or more will never spend any real money in your game. However, you might have a huge audience that are playing your game that you can still monetize with the ads. And with ads, you can, if you do it right, you can do substantial additional revenue to your game. Easily 20%, 30%. Some games even make 50% uplift with ads if they do it right. And like Lucas mentioned in the keynote, technical integration in ads for Unity is extremely easy. And we are proud to announce that the Unity 5.2, you don't have to even integrate any SDKs anymore. You just click a box and you're good to go. So the technical part is extremely easy. However, what you still see today in many games is that you spend lots of time building awesome game, spend a lot of time thinking through the game design, fiddling through the core loop, optimizing the core loop, finding right engagement, and then 2 weeks before launch, you realize, by the way, how to monetize the game? Let's put ads there. But that doesn't necessarily usually lead to the best possible outcome. And the other common misconception around ads is that ads are something bad. That ads are something that you put there basically to annoy your users, and then you try to get them to pay you money to get rid of ads. Still, you see a lot of places that even though you make any in-app purchase, you get rid of ads. And even the developers present the ads in a way that, hey, this is something that you can get rid of. But if you do that way, are you really doing a favor to anybody, including yourselves? That you actually make your users hate the ads because you bombard them with random ads here and there. Who would like to advertise in such environment, so hostile environment? And will you actually make that much money yourself? And then if you look at the ad formats, the mobile advertising, of course, started with banners. And when I started to put ads in games 6 years ago, that was pretty much the only available ad format. And it's really tricky in terms of design, because if you want to show ads during the gameplay to your users, you have to reserve a certain part of real estate for ads, and that limits, especially on small screen, a lot of stuff that you can do with your game. And of course, for a user, they want to play the game and not watch the ad when the gameplay is going on. And with the full screen interstitials, you really get a good attention from the users. But if you just show them randomly here and there, that you slam them in front of your users get confused and ultimately annoyed when they get them randomly where they don't expect. And even though you plan them and design them very well, at best you're mimicking the TV experience where you have scheduled stuff, for example, between levels, where you show ads to your people. But how many of you love TV ads? But what if you put the player in the center? What if you let the player choose when and if they want to engage with ads? What if you actually give a user a reward for watching an ad? What if you build a positive user experience out of advertising? It's very easy to do with rewarded video, to build it in a way that players actually trigger opt-in to choose to want to watch the video. They know in advance that they actually get a reward. Unity Ads content, it's games for gamers. It's relevant content for the players. It's not something like hair removal ads from Groupon that you usually see in banners. And because it's user-initiated, there's no negative effect at retention at all. We have not seen one single case where user-initiated ads would have negative effects on retention. Not at all, because users choose to do that themselves because they know that, hey, there's something for me. There's a clear value proposition with ads. And it's also good for advertisers because users choose to watch the ads, so the whole overall experience is positive. So even the advertisers get better results. And through all this, developers get even better monetization and higher revenues. So it's kind of win-win-win for everybody. But then it becomes tricky to figure out that how you actually should design the ads into the game. But if you start with this is very, very simple illustration of the core loop in the game that you frequently see nowadays in typical mobile games. That let's say a car racing game that you win some races, you get money, you build better engine, buy new tires in your car, then you race again, you win some races, you unlock new tracks to compete again, you get some money, you buy new tires, you buy new transmission, and you play again. And that's the engagement loop where you want to keep your player. And how interrupting users with interstitials somewhere here and there would fit in the core loop like this. What if you should figure out in your specific game how I build an engagement loop around the advertising within this core loop that you actually get people engage with the ads while they still feel that they are part of the game. So I have, just as an inspiration for you guys, a couple good examples of well-done implementation of rewarded video ads. So the first one is Angry Birds Transformers. Go ahead. Where you can collect points and coins during a level. And when you actually finish the level and complete the level, the game gives you an option to double the rewards collected in the game by watching an ad. And once again, 100% user initiated. User chooses themselves to watch the video. And after the video, you continue playing. And the second example I have for you is from Best Fiends from Seriously. And this is actually a good example in terms of building completely new engagement loop around the core game and building a kind of new feature around advertising. So Best Fiends, to some of you that don't know, is a kind of more or less traditional match 3 game. And when you don't get past the level, they give you an option to watch an ad to get to spin a wheel of fortune to win prizes in the game. So it's basically a new gameplay feature that you enable by watching an ad. And believe me, on this type of integrations that we have seen, the engagement from the players has been 5-fold or even in some cases 10-fold compared to the standard video rewarded ad integrations where you just put a link in your IAP store that, hey, watch an ad and get 10 coins. Because people feel that these kind of integrations are more part of the game. It's part of the gameplay. They actually get something more than just external ad experience within the game. And the third integration is from Sonic Dash from Sega, and it's a classic endless runner type of game. And of course, Sonic sometimes had hard times with grabs. And they give you an option to watch an ad to enable you to continue right where you failed and ended your game. So after watching a video, they allow you to continue instead of having to start right from the beginning. So in this case, basically, ads save your life. And definitely a positive user experience, for sure. And the purpose of all this is to kind of challenge you guys to think that use your creativity to not only to design the game, but also take into account that how you actually build best possible ad integration to your games instead of just going the short way that, hey, let's put a link here and there and an interstitial here and there, without thinking through that what actually gives value for the user and thinking of the user that what they actually want to experience. And now Mike gives you a demo on how easy it actually is to integrate ads in Unity 5.
Hello, everyone. In case you haven't noticed, I am not Carl Kellewert. I am going to go ahead and show us real quick how easy it is to integrate advertisements into your current projects or new projects. It's actually really, really simple. And I'm going to show us two ways to do it. We're going to look at 5.1 and prior, and we're also going to look at 5.2 and later, so we can see kind of some of the new stuff that we've added and things like that. By the way, did anyone notice that we got you to intently watch 3 advertisements? Right? Integration, right? Make it part of it. All right. So when we want to integrate ads into a project, the first thing we need to do is we need to create a project, well, with one way, with 5.1 or previously. We can come out here to the advertisement dashboard, right, as part of the Unity Cloud, and we can create this project. You can see I've got 2. I created ads demo, and then I forgot, and then I created space ads. So I've got 2 that effectively serve the same purpose. Creating the games on these profiles is real simple, just a name, what platforms you want to support, whether or not they're currently out or not. If they're not, that's fine too, and whether or not you're in test mode, and just some of the stuff like that. And so I'm not going to sit there and make you watch me to do that, so I have already done it. So I'm just going to click on Space Ads here, and I can see kind of everything about this game. Obviously, I just made this. There's no data here. But what I'm interested here is my game ID, and that's a unique identifier. And so I'm just going to go ahead and grab that right there. And now I'm going to go ahead and hop into Unity 5.1. And what I have here is I have a project called Space Ads. By the way, I will show you links to this so you can download this yourself. This is an example that's available for you to download. And Space Ads is just a simple game. It's really just a shell. There's not really a game here at all. But we're just going to look at adding advertisements to this. So again, this is Unity 5.1. So the first thing I would need to do here is download the advertisement SDK. And I can do that by going to the asset store and just typing Unity Ads. And it's just a download. I can see some of the folders down here. Again, I didn't want to make you watch me download something from the asset store, especially if the internet in here isn't good. And so it's already in here. All I did was just hit import. You're really not missing much. And so what I'm going to do is I want to have a button on this screen that when an advertisement is ready, I can click it and it will show me an advertisement. Now I have such a button already set up. It's called the Get Coins button. And I can see by default it's turned off. This is not actually part of the ads process. It's just part of my presentation here. And what I have on here is a single script, and it's this script we're going to use to make our advertisements be ready and then be shown to the user. And it's actually very, very, very simple. It's 3 lines of code, actually. So I'm going to go ahead and just open up this script. And I have the 3 lines of code already written, so you didn't have to watch me type. So the first thing we need to do whenever integrating advertisements is we simply say using Unity Engine.advertisements. That gives us access to that API that says, hey, we're going to have ads in our game. The second line of code is advertisements.initialize. And that just says, hey, get ready, right? Now, initialize takes two parameters. We pass two things in. The first is that ID, all right, that we pulled off the website there. And the second is whether or not we're in test mode. Test mode just means, hey, if I deploy this to an app or to a device while I'm testing, I'm not going to see real advertisements, all right? I'm going to see test advertisements. That's good because you don't want to just have test devices showing real advertisements. That's bad. That's right. That's against user agreement and whatnot. So we don't want to do that. Now, the last line of code we need is simply advertisement.show. And that's going to show an advertisement. And now there's a lot more to this. We can show types of advertisements. We can make our advertisements not skippable. We can have callbacks to do all sorts of stuff. We can say, hey, how long did the user watch the advertisement? When did it finish? Did they watch the whole thing so I can reward them? So there's a lot more to it. And again, I'm going to give you links to where you can see some of this stuff. I'd love to show you, but limited time, right? So I still need to show you 5.2 here. The rest of this code that I have commented out is really just sort of helper. Mostly, I don't want the button to appear unless my advertisements are ready. And that's what this coroutine does here. Again, it's not really an integral part, but this is while advertisements.isReady is false. So while our advertisement is not ready to show, we just wait and the button isn't visible. And then as soon as the button appears, it means my advertisement is ready and I am ready to see that. So the button appears. And so this last bit, just going to start that coroutine. And so now I'm going to come back to Unity. I'm just going to hit play. Now we're in the editor, so of course my advertisement is going to be ready right away. All right, but if this was on device, it might take a second or two to download those ads, prepare, to communicate, just to get ready for the ads experience. And so since, again, I'm in editor, when I click this, get more coins, I'm going to see this default screen, and that's fine. This tells me everything is fine. If I were to build this for a device now and hit that button, I would see a sample app, or a sample advertisement. And if I were to take myself out of test mode and hit that button again, I would see a full, rich video advertisement. So this tells me everything is done. So 3 lines of code, right? And simply just downloading and installing the SDK into my project. So that is Unity 5.1. So let's take a look at Unity 5.2. Now, my workflow in Unity 5.2 is much more streamlined and straightforward. I'm not going to go to the dashboard. I could. I'm not going to. Right? I don't have any SDKs to install. They're all integrated. So I have the exact same project with the exact same script that's all commented out right now. And so my workflow in Unity 5.2 is much simpler. I'm simply going to click on the cloud icon right there, which is actually already up from our services tab. And now, if I did not already have a project, I could click this select organization and I could create my project directly through the editor. I don't have to go out to the dashboard. All right, I can create everything right in here without doing anything else. Now, since I already have a project created, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to click I already have a project. And my advertisement, or my organization is me. And for my project, it's going to list all the projects that I have, and I'm just going to choose space ads. And I'm going to hit link. And yes, I'm sure. So now what I can see is my ads are already turned on, already linked to my project. If I click on them, I can see information about them. I can see what that ID is. The internet's a bit slow, I do apologize. But everything is linked now. Everything is completely ready to go. All right, I haven't had to go to a dashboard and install anything. Just click, 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 done, done, done. Now I'm going to go back to this button that I have, the exact same button as I had in the previous project. And the exact same script, and I'll open it up. And we're only going to notice one small difference between the two. So again, to start this up, I'm simply going to have the line using Unity Engine.advertisements. All right, just gets everything going, gets everything ready. And now what you're going to notice is I no longer need to do advertisements.initialize. That's handled for me. So I'm no longer picking test mode. I'm no longer passing in an ID, right? I've already linked my project. It knows whether or not I'm in test mode, and I actually can control it through that window. I don't have to call initialize. It knows what my ID is. I don't need to do any of that stuff. So now it's simply using the library and then advertisement.show. Right? 2 lines now. Now I'm still going to have the same maintenance code where I only want to show an ad when it's ready, and I just want to start that up. But it's a much simpler process. Well, it's a much simpler version of an already very simple process. Bless you. So now I'll hit play, and I'll have my ads button, and I'll click it. I'm sure you'll guess what we'll see, and there we go. And this tells me everything is ready to go, 100% done. If I were to build this right now, I would start seeing advertisements. All right, so a very simple process, very, very easy to do, very little coding, but a lot more you could do if you wanted to, if you wanted to get more in depth with different types of campaigns and stuff like that. So it's a very robust system. So I'm going to go ahead and pull PowerPoint back up here because I have those links for you. And so if you're curious, these are the links. These are the things that I was using here. So first off is the dashboard. This is Unity's new dashboard. They've had a previous one, and now they have a new system, and they're migrating everything and just adding more and more features all the time. That demo game, the Space Ads, is right there on GitHub, Amplifier Unity Ads Demo. We also have a great helper piece of software, which is also at Amplifier Unity Ads Helper, which has examples of a bunch of different things that you can do with our advertisements. And then finally, we have a best practices design guide, which is there as well. I'm going to pop over to the next slide, which is going to say questions. And then when we're done with that, I'll pop back so you can continue getting these links here. So, all right, there we go. So, hey, questions?
Hi. So you said it's linked directly to your Unity account?
Yes.
And would you have the ability then to have a team manage the dashboard beyond that one account?
It links to your organization, which your organization has the ability to have multiple people.
Okay, thanks.
I think it was Chart Boost. They used to allow you to theme the borders around certain ads and just the general UI that accompanied the ad to make it feel like it fit more within your game. Does Unity Ads have anything for that right now?
Not right now.
Okay.
Yeah, yes. It's part of the end card in the video.
But that's
the video
not
player.
something that a developer can customize? That's just
Not right now. No.
Hey, sorry, new to ads. Is it possible to have any control over what ads are actually played through the dashboard?
To a certain degree, yes. You can, for example, if your game is targeted to children, you can of course rule out certain categories away that you don't then show ads for R-rated games, for example. But on a category level, yes.
So somebody on the Unity team basically is sifting through the potential companies and advertisements and choosing ones that is good for the gaming community effectively, or is it?
They're categorized, right?
Yeah.
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 Thanks. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess my question is very similar. There was a premise or a promise that says the content is relative and interesting, but it's a promise. How do you guarantee that? That's the question.
Well, we also have a kind of algorithm that learns about how different games are perceived in different types of games. So which kind of gamers play which kind of games. So
You want us to trust a machine, right?
yes, we do.
What's the worst that can happen, right?
That's also what Google is doing with drivers.
I think your integration of ads is great, but it seems like you're defaulting to full screen ads right now. Is there an ability to still use the banners with your current system?
Right now, no, because we have found that the videos work so much better than the banners. There's 10x or even more
are you planning to bring banners back into the system? in
Not right now, at least on a traditional banner format, no.
The enabled test mode, I noticed that's inside Unity itself. Is there any plan to support that in the dashboard online? So if I accidentally ship my game and accidentally was on test mode, then I can't turn it off.
It's also in the dashboard, and I believe the dashboard overwrites whatever you choose in the editor if you forget to set it or you forget to turn it off or on or whatever, yeah.
Cool, thank you.
So when a user gets a video and they don't finish watching it, right, I would assume you don't get the record. It's not recorded that the user watched the video.
Yeah, of course not. Yeah.
And so in a game, I have an ability to check if they watched and give them enough reward for that. But they have to finish it in order for that to be meaningful as a money-making machine, right? I have to force users to finish watching the video, otherwise it makes no sense.
No, it depends on you as a developer. You can also set it up in a way that it gives you the reward even though you skip the video.
I understand, but reward will be free. I will not get money for that.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Is there any capability of setting up different types of campaigns so that we keep code in there saying that we want to show an ad, but maybe on the dashboard disable that specific entry point for an ad, meaning that we don't need to redeploy to change our sort of advertisement setup?
I believe that's
Yeah.
controllable through the dashboard.
Yes, yes. You can set up.
Okay, and
beyond
also,
that.
is there anything for like cross promotion or anything like that? If we wanted to work specifically with another partner, could we use Unity ads to do that?
Well, we're definitely looking into how we want to incorporate that into the system, and that's more of the roadmap items right now, but not right now.
So we couldn't like use it to advertise our own games, like internally within.
But not right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I saw Tap Titans, I think, probably use Unity ads. It looked quite similar. Do you know for sure?
Which game?
Tap Titans? Okay, anyway, it may be, the question is probably relevant. They had a very similar system where it was an opt-in ad thing, which I think is great experience. However, the ads ended up being maybe like, 4 or 5 ads that would just recycle. And I wanted to blow my brains out after a while. Is there better, how do you guys handle that problem?
We definitely are, once again, trusting the machine.
Specifically, do you set any flags that says this user has already seen this ad?
Absolutely. We have a kind of certain frequencies on certain type of ads, and depending on how well they perform. But sometimes also repetition is not bad. That it might be that the advertiser reminding you of something that you already have seen, for example, tomorrow might yield positive results as well. But we definitely have controls over that we don't show you the same ad over and over again.
Okay,
sure.
thanks.
And we have, all the time, we have hundreds of different ads in the system, so we definitely have ads to choose to, even the heavy users.
Yeah, as it was explained to me, there's an internal decay mechanic. You
Yes.
see an ad and there's a decay to it. And yeah. Any other questions? I think we're kind of at time there.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I've got fire for a heart, I'm not scared of the dark. You've never seen it look so easy. I got a river for a soul, and baby you're a boat.